Caleb's head is so fiery, I keep leaning back and thinking something is like glitching on the screen. Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with the Calamity wrap-up. I never did it, you guys have told me since it was released. It says a month ago on the title thing. Let's see exactly when it aired, because now I'm curious. July 13th. The Calamity Exandria Unlimited Calamity wrap-up aired July, so not even a month and a half, so it's pretty accurate. It always gives you like the rounded down or the rounded up of a week or a month. You guys told me it came out. I never got around to it. I said one day I'd do it when we had some free time, and because we had a short week by doing everything in episode 26 in one day. The longest episode I can remember, possibly the longest. I never went and looked, or if I did, I forgot. But I'm pretty sure if it's not the longest, it's close to it. And we did it in one day. We took a break for 5 minutes. It's all up. You could watch it. You could sync up your feed and just watch along for 6 hours if you want. This is Calamity. It's totally different. We love all the players. Besides our friends from Critical Role, Travis, Marisha, and Sam, we have Brennan hosting, Dimension 20. We have Lou, we have Luis, and we have Abrea. All fantastic. Nidus, Xerxes, and Liren Sealy. Paisha was Marisha, Sarit, and Loquacious. And Brennan, amazing DM. Honestly, it was absolutely fantastic, to be honest with you. I forget, but I'm pretty sure I teared up a good bit. I don't know. I don't think I've actually ever cried at anything yet, except maybe something recently. I'm pretty sure recently something's coming out or did come out already. Oh, no, it already did come out. But I ain't going to tell you. You just got to figure it out. But somewhere, somehow, either way, I'm going to show you this and then we're jumping in because it's a 2-hour wrap-up. I think that is the most ridiculous face they started on Marisha. Being as I know these people and the way Brian is with Talks Machina, and they're all a big happy family of friends and editors, I'm assuming it can't be a coincidence. It's so goofy, and we know Marisha is a beautiful woman, very intelligent. I'm just saying, if I made a face like that, I often, if you go back and look at my older thumbnails, I would take faces of myself that looked like that and put them as my thumbnails to draw attention. So I mean, it wasn't the thumbnail that I saw, but that is literally 000 how we're starting. You can see it right there. So let's just jump in. We know how it all went down. Everybody, spoiler alert if you haven't seen Calamity, but everyone died except Sarit. Sarit rolled the impossible. The impossible dream. I figure something somewhere someday is going to come of that, and it probably already did because oh, wait, no, it couldn't. This is new. See, I get so confused sometimes because I watch so many older things. This was the newest. This just came out. So Sarit will probably be seen or heard from again. Let's jump in. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusive you'll only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Eureka, and Infinity Train just started. Ashley Johnson voicing the girl. I didn't know, but it's great. You guys probably told me and I forget these things. Maybe we'll do it in 2 parts. We'll see how long we go. It's an hour and 50 minutes. I feel like I could do it in one sitting. Maybe we'll break it up. If not, Exandria Unlimited Calamity wrap-up. Wait, no.
Well, hello.
Hello again.
And welcome to the official wrap-up of Exandria Unlimited Calamity.
Hey.
That's right. We'll be exploring all of the luscious lore surrounding the Ring of Brass, the fall of Avalier, and even everyone's favorite Aeorian reporter, Bolo.
Don't
like her.
MVP.
She's doing good. I already love it.
So many opinions.
I already love the
This will be
the
a round-ish table. There's a rectangle one here. Discussion with fan questions peppered throughout. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our reflections on the apocalypse we brought about, but also maybe made just a little less worse. Maybe.
Maybe.
And so with that in mind,
I feel like it can't be worse.
I think first we should maybe just do a little quick round of introductions. I mean,
there's no like intro song that plays now or something?
Make one now.
Is there a title sequence?
And title sequence.
Like Talks Machina?
Oh, we're all gonna die.
I was gonna say he's like Talks Machina has the intro sequence.
I saw the
They did that with the Vox Machina videos.
Oh man,
Sam's spoiled now.
Yeah.
Sam spoiled Sam.
Well, now that we're back from that amazing title sequence.
I'm gonna turn this down a bit. She is
yeah,
loud.
I mean, I'm assuming most people know who we are if they, watch 20 hours of us. But I guess, Luis, maybe let's just go around.
I would
and
assume
introduce
people
everybody.
know who we
I'm
are,
Marisha
but let's
Ray.
do it.
Played Paisha.
Hi,
Marisha Ray.
Hi,
Paisha
everybody.
Portico.
Hello, Luis.
I'm Luis Carrazzo. I played Xerxes Eletes. First night. First night.
I'm not sure what camera to look into. Hi, I'm Sam Riegel. I was the voice of the Herald's
Get the Ashley
Tone,
shirt.
Loquacious Sealy. I'm also a talented actor.
I love.
Wow.
Please fix your shirt. I can't see it
Oh, we're
good.
adding
Oh, there it is.
On the third
Oh,
instance, we kind of
my
added a new category of thing to say.
Complimenting yourself.
Yes.
What is Starstruck? That's good.
Hey gang, I'm Brennan Lee Mulligan. I was everybody else.
And fun fact.
I dig
A fun
Brennan.
fact, and a fun fact, camera back. And a fun fact about me is that I am drinking a nice cup of Joe right now.
It was not. I don't know. It was fun.
yeah.
It was a fact. It was a fact.
It was a fact.
He brought it all the way back
Yeah.
so he
Also
could
kind
say
of a
he's
concept
drinking a
we
nice
like
cup of
to
Joe.
Yeah.
Hey, Brennan can do whatever he wants. He made the magic.
Give focus. Give
Yeah,
focus.
can we give
Yeah, let's
focus?
go. Oh, okay.
There's a dance?
Yeah.
What's
What
happening?
is happening? Oh my God.
Yeah!
Hi, I'm Lou Wilson. And for the past 20 plus hours, I played Nidus Okiro, Guildmaster of the Golden Side.
Oh my goodness.
No,
Fun
my
fact about
goodness.
me. I've never had a piece of sashimi.
You've never had a pizza sashimi?
I've never had a pizza sashimi.
What is that?
Pizza sashimi?
Well, yes, and I'm assuming you all have eaten pizza sashimi.
No.
I
is-
personally have never had pizza sashimi.
Pizza sashimi. So pizza sashimi.
Is he being serious or does he mean piece of sashimi?
with slices of tomato,
Yes.
uncooked cheese, and uncured ham.
It's a classic kind of. They serve it a lot in
Shitty
Barcelona.
bruschetta.
Yeah.
Really?
Hey, it's
I've
real.
never heard of that. I eat sashimi like 3 times a week. So not sushi. I get
we going to
sashimi
me?
platters, like
Hi.
deluxe
Hello.
sashimi platters.
Hi. That's not a real food, right? Okay. I'm Travis Willingham. I played Sarah Agrupton. I survived.
Oh,
Doritos
Groupton.
coupon.
Cerritos Groupon.
I almost feel like he
Better
almost
known
forgot his
as-
own name or something.
I died.
If you Google Sarah, you'll find my real name. Fun fact, I wore a black t-shirt tonight in an effort not to get food on myself when I ate dinner.
Oh, yay!
Challenged the fates and won.
Yep. nailed it.
Challenged the fates and
Sweet.
won.
Hi.
Let's
I'm here.
applaud
Hey,
him.
I'm Abria Iyengar. I played Lyran Cormarsili, Hierophant Adura, Architect Arcane. Fun fact about me, I don't think I've ever won a game of rock, paper, scissors ever in my life.
Wait, right now. You gotta go
Yeah.
real hard. Ready to go. You
You're gonna take away her
Wrong
one.
shoot?
throw on 3.
No, no,
You're gonna
it's
take
not
the
wrong.
one thing she has.
That's crazy.
The one
We're
thing
gonna
she
throw a
has.
Okay.
As a fun fact, you're gonna take it from her. You're a liar, Abrea.
Wow.
You no way.
know what? I think
You lie. No, I'm just joking.
we won't.
She was
we
trying to
won't
be
get
funny
any
about
better.
it, and then we did a
That's
real
highlight of
deal
tonight.
battle.
Love you.
Kids, if you can dream it, you can do it.
That's it.
Actually sweating.
Nobody wants.
Well, you guys,
She's like-
let's just jump into some of this hot goss.
We're just asking questions. There's no
Yeah.
format, right?
Not really,
Okay.
but I also am the one with the IFB in my ear.
Okay,
And I
okay.
have a drive to move
Okay.
it forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I
won't
have
let that happen.
margaritas waiting for me.
We don't have to do
All right,
anything,
kick us
but
off.
you're gonna get yelled at constantly to do things.
Everybody, knowing that this was the Calamity, did it change how you normally build your characters?
Hell yeah, go for it.
Oh yeah. Oh
Obviously.
man. I normally don't care about
I got
optimized
my
play,
Vox.
but Brennan said we were probably gonna die, so I decided fuck you, absolutely not. And I worked the hardest I've ever worked to build a very cool character.
You're probably gonna
that
die because
could survive as long as possible.
Yeah, you min-maxed the fuck.
Oh yeah, it was
of there.
very fun when I
I
finally
like
saw
that.
like everyone's characters in the campaign, and I saw the HP differential between our two wizards, and I went, I've done a good job here. Yes,
you
yes,
really
good.
That tough feat, man.
Yeah,
the
tough
arcane-
is dope.
With the arcane ward, you more than double Pasha, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I had 175 functional
Yeah,
HP.
that's insane.
Function.
Yeah. If I ever use the
Functional.
arcane ward myself.
Wow.
Got it.
Yeah. Plus that little like workaround to rebuild the arcane ward with an eldritch adept feat. Anyway, it's the nerdiest I've ever gotten about a build, and it was.
and
really,
now
really good.
she's
Did you like
dead.
research
But hey,
that?
it was
Yeah.
awesome to watch.
Google like how to break wizards?
Yeah, yes. Like lots of people talk about it all the time. And then I sat down with my friend Trevor, who also is like very good at D&D, and I was like, okay, here's what I'm working with so far. Help me optimize this. And we worked for like 4 hours. And built a little monster.
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's
when we
pretty
were
cool.
building out the characters, you sort of said, Brennan Lee Mulligan, GM of Exu Calamity.
Guy loves coffee.
You
The
said we
Ashley
could just
shirt
have
is so
like.
ridiculous.
Was there a limit to how many items we could have? You were just like, now I know why you said this, but you were like, yeah, just pick a bunch of magical items, and that scared me. That frightened me. It made me feel like I was cheating. So I only picked like 2 very, very weak items. I think I picked like a wand of smiles.
You picked a wand of smiles?
And like a +1 ring of protection, and I felt guilty doing that. But then I looked around at y'all.
Yes.
Everybody had like
yeah.
all
I was
this
like,
shit. You had a strength of 56.
Yeah.
You were stacking. You were all stacking shit. I didn't have any. I felt guilty.
Why would
doing
he
it.
feel guilty
But now
if-
I know why. You were gonna taketh away everything that you gave us.
Don't trust Brennan gifts.
The moment that Luis like dropped.
I mean,
in our Slack,
honestly,
though, it was
like if
"Can I
someone
take a hold
offers
of
you
it here?"
gifts,
was like,
I
well, he
never
asked
am that
first,
kind of
so now
person
I
where
feel
I'm like,
it's pave the way.
I am
free
gonna
reign.
prove it that I don't need this, or
Well,
not
there's
that
an
Sam was
element
saying
of
that. Sam was
verisimilitude to
basically
that,
feeling
right? Like,
guilty that he
these
didn't
people would
need it.
imagine being like, yes, the secret movers and shakers of Avalier.
I take every
Can I borrow
advantage.
$20?
If it's part of the rules, I'll take the advantage.
No, these people would be fucking
I won't
loaded.
break
They're
the
at the
rules.
height of a magical fucking civilization. They would be strapped with gear. So it was actually not only a clever ploy. It was not just me pulling the like parenting trick of someone's like, I'm running away, and you're like, good, run away. And you're like, run away, you know, and then you're like, That was not a reverse psychology thing to get you guys to not pick magical items. It was truly from a place of like when I saw Luis go ham on the magic items, I was like, yes, because it's just realistic. This is a civilization that's like, we don't need an army, we just need one guy with a belt of storm giant strength.
Storm giant strength. That's why 29 strength.
Storm giant strength. And when you see Xerxes fighting, you're like, yeah, believable. Like
A belt
that would cover
of storm
it.
giant strength.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
So
it. We're
anybody
done.
else want
Nope,
to talk about how
that's
they
it.
built their characters?
Nope, we're done.
Me?
That's it.
I think the build I went with, I wasn't so Calamity infused. I think I did really want to show out. I think being on Critical Role, I was like, well, I can't like show up and be like, well, I'm a bard. I was like, I couldn't.
Sam does that
I
every
couldn't
day.
like, I just couldn't, hack it and just show up as a. No, but I was like, I want to do, because what are you just gonna show up and just be a bard, and just be like, what, bardic inspiration for you? I mean, come on, are you kidding?
I love it because you were both bards and both multi-class.
I wasn't sure if he
I
was
multi-classed as
sticking
Warlock
to him the first
Brennan,
2
you
times,
said
and
that,
then I'm like,
and
okay,
I did that,
clearly he's going in.
No, I think I came into it, I was like, I've done a bard. I got to do something other than a bard.
Done a bard.
But it's also level 14. I don't want to learn a brand new thing. I don't want to learn sorcerer or wizard. Like, that's complicated. So I'll do what I know. I'll be bard. And you were like, well, you could flavor it a little with something else. And I think you gave me a couple options. And Warlock sounded okay.
And gave us a really awesome connection.
It did.
Story-wise, not only for the game contained within itself, but also very timely with Ashley's character in C3, the connection to the Sealy
The
Court.
Sealy Court.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was a well-researched
I'm gonna
connection
forget
that
about that, so
I
don't worry.
definitely Spent a lot
I'm
of
not
time
even joking.
researching.
By the time
really?
campaign 3
And talking
comes
to
around,
Ashley
even
about
though
it,
that's
and-
not really that big of a spoiler,
maybe
honestly,
it was,
those kind of spoilers
Brennan
I don't
saying,
even care
hey, who's
about,
your
and I
Warlock
will
patron?
forget that.
And me going to like the Critical Role wiki and just looking up Fey creature, Fey characters in Critical Role lore, and seeing the word Sealy and being like, great, done.
So you were a bard warlock, and you were like a
did
bard.
some homework.
Bard sorcerer.
Bard sorcerer.
Yeah.
4 levels of sorcerer, 10 levels of bard. Because I really wanted splitting spellcasting classes meant that I couldn't cast above a 5th level. But I had those, or I didn't have any spells above 5th level, but I had those spell slots. So I used magical secrets to get some sicker shit.
Yes.
That
What did you get?
that was the dragon
Look at
spell,
him
the summon
pushing his
dragon
eyes.
spirit that turned into Shaq, and the
Cone of Cold.
the cone of cold I used on one time at the very end.
Yeah,
because we
I remember
never took a rest of any kind.
Yeah.
No.
Shaq. Shaq was awesome. I'm happy we had
All the
Shaq.
GMs out there, fuck a rest. All right? They don't need them. They don't need them.
in this room. Go fuck yourself.
Wait, I have a question for the multi-class. The
It's the
multi-class.
first time I've ever multi-class. It was really fun.
Really?
Yeah.
I got access to all sorts of other cool stuff. I also used magical secrets to get some cool things. It was great. It was fun.
This is always something interesting when I think about multi-class characters. What class do you think your character started at first level?
Ooh. Well, I picked
That's
sorcerer
interesting.
for it. I was like, oh, Nidus is a magical person who like didn't really tap into that side, and so didn't grow much more, like didn't just kind of think about himself as being magical and work with that. He instead used what little magic he had and kind of navigated it through the lifestyle he lived. So I went starting 4 levels of sorcerer, finishing 10 levels of bard.
I think similarly, Loquacious started as a warlock for, I think it was only 3 levels of warlock and then 11 levels of bard when he found his calling, found his true path and what could bring him
So is it
fame and
14?
the adoration of many.
I mean, bitch was busy.
Nope.
Hey, quick, Marisha, before I forget, what was Paisha's
Oh yeah.
school of magic?
Subclass, enchantment.
There we go.
It was enchantment.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was a full-on,
Wiping memories.
pure, all the way enchantment wizard.
I am not as familiar with it. I know what enchantment is.
It didn't really, because like the enchantment wizard's like perks and abilities is that you can like you can split your enchantment spells and do like multiple targets on single enchantment spells, but it just kind of didn't really
I like
become
the
super
skull in the
relevant
back
at-
with the crow on it. It's
with
pretty cool.
what
looking.
we were doing.
Yeah.
Sure.
And by the time we were fighting, I wasn't going to be like, well, hang on, let's talk. So it just kind of didn't really become super relevant. But my thing with Brennan, like the way that I just broke the class and just made her powerful, because I wanted to have her be super knowledge based and have this orb that she had where she just stored everything and being the leader of the library.
Very cool. The orb was
I was
awesome. I
basically
very
like, can I
much
just
enjoyed
take
it.
like
that kind of like futuristic
all the spells?
technology.
I know there's a limit.
could see that
Can
happening.
I just add like 10 more spells?
Your
So
memories
I
into a
just
ball,
have
like
a lot,
100
and you were
years
like,
from
yeah,
now.
you like theoretically
Less.
you could just pull from.
You're like, it will.
You could just Google it in the middle.
You're not
I've
gonna
seen
take a nap.
movies, and I
Go
feel like
ahead.
we're
Yeah,
very
fine,
close
exactly.
to being
Sure.
able to
Pretty much.
literally
There's a weird. This is a bizarre tangent, but
Computerized,
literally to
like,
what Travis is saying.
organize
about, like, yeah,
our
sure, go for
memories
it.
kind of
There was
thing.
that attitude of like, because I think GMs and DMs can be stingy with stuff that they don't actually need to be stingy with. You know what I mean? Like your character is the keeper of scrolls for an entire city. You would have an infinite spell book. You would have all the spells, every spell there's ever been. It would be bizarre for you not to. And I think that you need to be generous with that stuff. There was a kid at my old summer camp who was a young adventurer who was obsessed with elves. He's like an 8-year-old boy. And he was like, in the game, can I be an elf? I want to be an elf warrior. And I was like, so cute. And he came up to me and he kept asking, like, can I have a laser gun that only elves can use? And I'd be like, well, that might not. And then he came up to me and was like, can I have the power to walk on snow like Legolas? And
Wiggle this.
there's that instinct you get. There's an instinct you
wasn't it
get
wiggle
where
us?
you want to say no
Wiggle
to
us.
requests. But then I looked around and I was like, it's the middle of July. And I was like, you can walk on all the snow you want. Any snow you find, walk all over it. You're a snow walking master. So like finding those things that it's like, yeah, like that's not game breaking to give someone access to all those spells in that way.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool stuff.
We need to talk about this bird, though.
I
How
love
did you walk
kid
into the Age of
voices.
Arcanum and be like, absolutely no magic?
When he did
I know.
Sir, it's kids.
Well, the character creation part kind of informed all of it because they were like, come with some ideas, come with some partial builds.
Talon
I didn't
won.
do any.
I was
of
trying to
that
think what
shit.
the other one was.
I just showed up, my lazy ass, to the table, and then everybody was spitting fire and had great ideas. And all of a sudden, the shape of what this could look like started to take shape. But I was the last one to go. I just happened to be on the end of the table as we were kind of going counterclockwise, and everybody else had killer magic. You all were super powerful with magic. I was like, well, you got to have the one guy that's like sharp, pointy things only, right? And then I asked Brennan, I was like, what's a really good investigator? Like, what would be really good at finding out details and trying to like keep a check on all this magic run amok? And he was like, an Inquisitor Rogue. So the more you build that out, the more you realize you're really good at like being slippery and not getting hit. But if you do get a hit, it's one really good stank one. Which was
I
nice.
mean, that's not a bad
and,
class. Honestly, that's very intriguing
so one thing
to me.
I do, when
But I
build
would
characters is
hate
I
being
start, like, with
squishy
an
because
item.
I'd be
I don't
very
know why.
in your face
Like,
on
when
the attack
when I
all the
built
time.
forward,
I wouldn't want to be squishy.
So, what's the store on Magnolia here that has the old wardrobe departments, like drop off?
It's
Take
a wrap.
Two? No, it's a wrap. That's right.
I went
It's
there for
a wrap,
Halloween
how
one year, and they
convenient.
had like Dracula Untold had put like all these clothes there, and I found these dope greaves that were like these silver folded greaves, bought them on sale or whatever, and that was how I built Ford. Was he started with like these forearm
that's pretty
razor
cool.
greaves, and then everything came off of that. So when it was Inquisitor Rogue time, I was like, okay. It's got to
That's
be
pretty
an
cool. There's a
awesome
store you
weapon.
could buy, like,
it can't
movie
just be
props.
some normal shit.
Why
What
me?
is there? And there's this Navy SEAL named Jack Carr that has these hawks, these Winkler R&D hawks that look like the craziest things you've ever seen. And I looked them up, and they're part of this Sayat Kali fighting system in the Philippines, which led to the Philippine Eagle.
Oh,
and so it
God,
just like rolled
that's
and rolled and rolled and rolled. And
I
that's
dig
just
that.
how that started. But like the eyes of Avalier and being the site warden, all that stuff just came together. So
That's pretty cool. I
so
actually dig that.
beautifully. It was just nice to have
he
one
went deep with
non-magic
this.
person that's just trying to make it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good man. Good man. Travis,
It definitely felt like a little bit of this
respect.
like who watches
and
the Watchmen
my
type
cat.
of
Yeah.
element of
Even though
like
he's
let's
allergic.
have this one person who's a little bit more grounded.
But I felt
Listen to the music kicked up.
I felt so out of it, which was probably perfect. Because we were talking about this before we actually started. We probably should have saved it, but when the first episode started, you guys were just in it. You were talking about your magic shit, and you were in the city, and I felt like there was a rapport among some of you, and I felt like I had missed like a meeting or something. Because you guys were just comfy and talking about the city and how it works, and I was just taking notes furiously and trying not to get lost. And it turns out
There was.
some of you
did.
bitches.
I have no idea what you're talking
They
about.
said
I
it during
wasn't
the
scared
show
of you
that a lot of
entire
them like
time.
Oh
met
my
up and
God.
I had a completely normal
things.
relationship with Sarah.
For
like-
those who missed our Twitter Spaces thing,
oh yeah,
which is everybody, there was a secret meeting. There was a secret meeting, and who was at this secret meeting?
We had a few secret meetings, but I
Trouble
right?
Troika,
But I
let's
think
go.
yeah.
And what did you guys discuss?
Nidus,
How awful we were.
Paysha, and Lyran.
That was mostly the topic of discussion, which was like, how nasty are you? And it was fun to be like, I had gone and be like, all right, I'm gonna be a little nasty.
Now, is that
Talking
frowned
and
upon? They don't
immediately
seem like they're
Abria
mad.
was
I'm
like,
just
"We're
wondering. You could have
nasty." I was
secret
like,
meetings
"Oh."
with players before
Okay, we're
the event.
nasty.
Not that it
And
matters,
then it turned out to
obviously,
be
because it's
really
all in good
nasty.
fun.
Nastier
I'm just
than even
wondering
I
if
planned.
Sam's going to be
so
like,
much
that's not
nastier.
right. I feel
but
like
yeah, that was most
left
the
at a
most,
gym
most of the
class
meeting was
kind of
agreeing
thing.
how we were nasty and how long we'd been nasty for, and the many ways we had been nasty together.
It's very good.
I'm trying to think of the nastiest stuff that came up in that meeting. Because basically, I was like, hey, the replenishment, this is what's supposed to happen. 25% of the city's ether is supposed to go to the
Yeah,
Galdrashari.
yeah.
The other 75% supposed to go into the ground and replenish the replenishment, all of Dominus. is that really happening, or what's happening to that city's energy?
And we were all like, yes.
Yeah.
And just this flurry of like the stuff. I think there was one point where it was like, I was like, okay, you tell me when I go too far. People extending their lives. Maybe there's a magister who hasn't shown up in a little while. Maybe he's a lich and not telling anybody. And that didn't even raise an eyebrow.
Yeah.
You were all like,
A good
that's fine.
beginning.
That's fine.
Keep thinking,
That's
Brennan.
fine. Yeah, like all good. So it was very, the whole network of like
some people-
someone like intercepting
I
with
thought
a
I heard a
Septarian
ghost,
and
and
like
I'm not expecting
and the whole
one for a
idea
while.
behind Pesha of someone who had found a job like a Senate parliamentarian,
Yeah.
had found this job and been like, oh, people think this is not important.
I just can't
It's
get enough of
about
the
to be
Ashton shirt.
incredibly important.
Every time I see it.
And I'm going to flip this on its head. Interfacing with the entire wealth of the city and someone who who like saw the vision for what Avalier could be and was like, yeah, no amount of if you have a cause, no amount of backroom dealing is ever gonna
cause.
make you question what that cause is. And then the entire technological delay right, the whole point of the secret project of like, we're gonna take the city, this is how we beat Aor, this is how we win the kind of Arcanum space race of like, okay, you guys hate the gods, other people like we look down on them, Ascension, we're going to become an interplanar city. We're going to become a city that trades with every other realm outside of Exandria.
Ambitions.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. I think it was great and it worked out
Amazing.
super well.
It was super gonna.
It was super good.
It was super
theoretically, it worked.
But it's
Yeah.
But it's
I
very
like
funny
that
to
we
hear
don't
everyone
have a
talk about
host.
how the secrets
I like that
work,
it's
because
just
you
everyone
guys, 'cause this
involved
meeting is,
talking
of
amongst
course, was
themselves.
like very
It
fun
doesn't
and
break up the
scheming and
monotony.
great. And I was also like, because also
It doesn't
I didn't
break
want
up
to have
the
that, I said
flow
it in the Twitter Spaces thing, but I didn't want it to be
of
like Christmas, where it's like
conversation.
everyone gets the same amount of presents.
Like I just did.
Where it's like,
Yeah.
where, you know what I mean? Where it's like, where there's sort of like, no, there's some people in this brass ring that are up to an asymmetrical amount of shady shit, and like that's realistic, and that's going to create fun
Tension.
dynamics, which lo and behold, it fucking did. And the but it's very fun to hear about the meeting, because while the meeting was happening, I also was aware of the other secrets that were coming up.
Sure.
So it's like you guys are having a meeting and you're like, we're nasty, and then I'm emailing with Luis every day, and
We're
he's like, yeah, my
nasty.
character's not doing good. And he really thinks about Betrayer Gods like every day.
That's very fun.
Like, so you guys are like, we're corrupt city officials, and this guy's like, it could all burn. Maybe it burns today, tomorrow. Who knows when it burns? Like,
Yeah.
Delightful.
Yeah,
But that's just, that feels like you were just on such another level of like, you saw through it all, which made sense. It's like a different level of bullshit.
I mean, geez, it's weird to
Has he not
try to have
spoke
an
yet? I feel like I
objective,
have not heard Luis yet.
take on the character that you had been like sitting in for so long for sessions. But I know that I wanted to play a redemption paladin right away. I thought maybe a cleric, but then I was like, nah, man, I want to play a redemption paladin to the extreme. And I wanted to just challenge myself in a way too, to just like really commit to that. And when our exchanges were just kind of getting to what runs, me sort of just offering and getting some sounding board stuff on what runs Xerxes. And I wanted to make a parallel between what he was experiencing as the first night and what maybe his idea of the Betrayer Gods were. Like the first night being in this
music
tower
is
and
so
a really
nice.
lonely
say it all the
experience
time.
that he never really asked for, but was kind of put on him. So in a way, he was in his own sort of like isolation. And so I wanted to create something that would make him connect to the experiences of the Betrayer Gods, and then really crazy, extreme redemption paladin. And I don't know, I mean, I guess he had
there's a catch.
secrets for sure, but he didn't have long-standing secrets. The dream
Really?
happened the day
Did you
of.
ever tell us
No,
about
but
yeah.
there were two moments.
Oath of Deflection Paladin.
Oath
Xerxes.
of deflection.
Yeah.
Val.
Never answered a question. Dropped the whole zone of truth and was like, and let me not tell you about
Yeah, yeah,
So let me tell you,
100% true.
that motherfucker.
the two moments
Yes.
that I was like, I think I'm gonna lay it all out on the table was in the second session why I was looking for Nidus. Because I wanted, like, that was my oldest friend, and I would have, if I had found you, I would have told you
Where was I?
You were chasing your thing deal.
No, when you walked out in the second session, you had been in the bathroom with the cracked mirror.
Yes.
And then you came out, but that's when Akami Ro got murdered because I could see in
that's when
your
everything
eyes
hit
that
the-
you wanted to spill the beans, and I was
you
like,
stopped it?
We're not.
Yeah.
I know that was the second time. The first time was right after we spoke to
Pervin Sewell.
Pervon.
Pervon.
Yes, that was and then I wanted to,
Pervon,
instead of going
yeah,
back to meeting
Pervin.
everybody, I wanted to go find
Sounds
you.
bad.
And then I couldn't find you.
Yeah.
A brain
And then
just
the
ran
second
away.
time was the Zone of Truth, but then you said no, and I was like, okay,
Don't
if you're
put this on me. Don't you dare
I was
act
like,
like
okay.
I said
All right.
no.
no, and I was
Well,
like,
but
okay.
it's because I only turned on you because
This feels like therapy now for some reason.
Yeah, the talk
I
out.
only turned on you.
That is pretty funny.
never
I
would've
remember
turned on
all
you.
this, how this
no,
went down.
No, I'm tired of this. No, I'm tired
So
of this.
he thought he couldn't trust
Trying
Xerxes
my best.
because
All right, you know what,
Xerxes
fine.
didn't
I
tell
am-
him
you know what?
a split second sooner than he would have.
Okay, you know what?
does this.
I am receiving
Basically.
this information. I'm receiving the idea that because I scolded you, which I felt terrible about, in the Zone of Truth moment that you
It's
did
the
not
master.
reveal. But to be fair, that was seconds after you. Like other people had been like, I don't want to do the Zone of Truth, and you had been like, what are you hiding? And I
Yes, yes.
and I had to be
Love
like,
it.
okay, bro.
Yeah, it was so cool. I loved it so much because it was. I love it when there's like a scene, an exchange between you and another person at the table, where they completely set you off course and into another direction because they've done a thing that changes you.
Yeah.
And I was gonna dig my heels in, but then I was like, I don't know. It really affected me to have the guy that's known me the longest call me out, and I was like, okay.
I mean, that was very
fucking cool.
aggressive. It was. I mean, it was entertaining,
good. Well,
but it
for
came
people
off
to know,
very
too,
aggressive.
like, in the
being as,
emails
like
that I
he
had
said,
with
they were
Luis, it was just
very
this is my first time
good
playing
friends
with you.
from what I
and we
gathered.
had coffee before
obviously.
the game, and it was just like I was like, oh, this guy feels about.
I gotta
storytelling
find out
all
about
the way
Starstruck.
about
I've seen his
storytelling.
shirt every
Because
time now, and it
you
looks
at the table
interesting.
Got totally lost in the character. People watching you could be like, "Is Luis gone? It's only Xerxes now." But people need to know in the emails, Luis was fully of sound mind. I was getting emails like, here's what my guy thinks. He could be totally fucking wrong. Like everything from Luis was as a collaborator, like, hey man, I am making a man who is strongly convicted. These are his convictions. This is what a paladin is. One of the smartest things I feel like 5e as a system did when it moved paladins from being wisdom casters to charisma casters. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it made me realize why you don't want to base morality in charisma.
I just caught
Right? Because you're like,
the Ashley shirt
the
again.
only
I
thing the
forget it's
world
there, and then
needs
it just
is redemption.
Great.
And I'm
Fucking
gonna do
great.
it every day, no matter how many people get hurt, or how badly it goes, or how many times the world tries to tell me it's not working.
Wouldn't call that wisdom.
Yeah. And having that insight skill ratcheted up can be helpful. Everyone is redeemable. Are you the right guy for the job, right? Are you this person who can do this thing in this moment? And it felt like there was such a thing with Xerxes where he
I
took this
thought Xerxes
universal
played it
truth about like
great.
everyone can be saved.
I mean, they were
and
all great.
didn't see the bridge to I can save anybody.
If I had to pick
That
a favorite,
never occurred to him of like, am I the guy for the job? And I thought that was so beautifully done.
Sir, it was pretty freaking
thanks.
slick.
I had a conversation with, and I don't think every redemption
Nitus,
paladin needs to be
if
played
it wasn't
this way,
for
but again,
Nitus
I wanted
made a
to play
couple
one to the
moves
extreme, and that was part
I
of the
didn't like,
flaw
but Nitus
that I had embedded in it. And I was
solid.
like, this is an incredibly toxic trait. It's the it is that I am going to change you, and but from
feel like
such
turning it
a
up again,
well-meaning,
just because.
heartfelt place, and that wasn't the only layer
gonna
to
go to
him.
11.
Because I also wanted to
blow
play
this
someone whose
shit
like,
up.
flame of hope will never extinguish.
I'm gonna kill
and that
this.
those two
We got the live
can,
stream tonight. I'm
you know,
probably
be
gonna be
synthesized together, but
very
they
drunk.
don't have to coexist. So yeah, I think that's from the get-go. I wasn't really plotting like the nastiness, but I was like, let me embed it in to this blind spot and have this person who is the most well-meaning, the goodest person in his own heart, and let's give him this like flaw and this blind spot.
Yeah, well, and you kind of talking about the flaws because even us sitting around the table, me, Lou, and Abria,
The goodest
being
person.
like, we're
I
gonna
like
get
how you said
nasty
it.
in the same way of you being very cognizant of Xerxes's flaws. we were kind of in the same mindset with like,
or Xerxes.
we know we're being shady and shifty.
I'm not making fun.
but
I'm like, I feel
our
like I say it wrong
characters
when I
at
hear
the end
other
of the
ways.
day are like, this is justified, and we are doing it for the good of the city and the greater good. And that was, I mean, speaking of incredibly poignant, incredible life lessons, something that Brennan talked about on that day, which was not to tell your story.
What is this music
but
from? It sounds
ending
very
in,
familiar.
You know, the lesson being never trust a motherfucker with a cause. and it felt like so much was really rooted in that, about how you really so much of like the flaws of you know, for Paisha especially, and you know, Laren and Nidus, was that being blinded by their ambition. And it's not to say that they weren't evil, and I honestly think trying to play like a evil on the spectrum character is like boring and dumb, because there is no like black and white spectrum. And to try and play that calculated, manipulative, but you're doing it because you know in the end you're gonna win and you're gonna be right and everyone will fucking love you for it. That trying to be on
Very
that
well
level
put.
of awareness. Yeah, I mean that was some damn mental gymnastics.
Yeah.
I mean, these were like some pretty deep and complicated characters.
Yeah, because you know, I mean, as a player, you know what you're doing is wrong, but you also know like.
I feel like I'd be
person
great
thinks that it
at building
would be
characters
right,
if I understood
and
it all.
so and
Only
there's
reason,
there's
because I
there's
am
a reason
obsessed with
why I'm
fantasy,
I'm doing bad
baseball,
things
football,
to get good
all
results.
statistical type things.
And yeah,
I
it
feel
was
like
fun to
this is
watch
kinda
you
like
all
that.
do that. I think for
Like, I would have to build my
I think
teams
for my
every
character,
week.
my
What
my
picture,
guy was
what
almost
this, what that,
was
like
almost
the stats.
yeah, it was almost the opposite.
Like, you have to study
my character,
stats.
It was perfect in every way.
well, no, like he was a liar all the time.
Yeah.
Like that was his surface level, was like, yeah, I always lie. I'm always stretching and bending the truth to do what I want. So it's not really a surprise, but like the weird secret was or the flaw, I guess, to Loquacious, which I sort of figured out as we were playing, was not that he was an easy liar or a good liar, but was that like he was lying to himself.
He lies about everything.
More than
Literally
anything,
everything.
more than anyone else, because like he put on
It becomes
this,
a thing where you just
this
put on-
outward appearance of
You put on a front,
knowing
a
everything, being
facade.
super confident, being beloved by all.
You become
but
what
all
you
he
think
wanted
people
was
wanna
very
see.
simple things, and he couldn't admit that to himself. He just wanted a lady, and to be happy, and to be
At
and
a
to be,
point,
and to be
I
truthful.
completely
Like, he
relate
didn't
to
like
that. At a
what he
point,
was
you
doing
start
as
realizing,
the
am I
Herald
doing
of
this
Avalier either, because it
for
meant
the right reasons?
bending and stretching the truth, and what he wanted to do was just like be a gritty indie reporter for the LA Weekly.
I think we are going to take a break at the halfway.
Go Gonzo!
covering rock shows.
Just
or
because
whatever.
I forgot to
But
feed the
like,
cats,
and he,
and they're
and he
gonna
needed
start
to
going
like
nuts.
admit that to himself. Like he doesn't really want all of this pizzazz and stuff. He just wants to be a good guy, and I think that was his weird like opposite flaw from the rest of you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Cerritos Groupon over here had no flaws.
Cerritos
was a bad
Groupon.
dad.
Was he though? He was so sweet.
No.
In the end, right? But that's just catching him on that day. So
But
that
he got
day, he had a
angry
good day as a
when he
dad. I
found
think
out
the years prior
Laren
to
was
that were
screwing with
What happened to
him.
the wife? Do we know what happened to the wife?
Yeah, so
what's
You guys
up with
have
her?
a
What'd you
weird
do to her?
thing? Were you guys divorced?
I just didn't pay any attention to her.
So
So
the implication that was there was that Rain and Sarah were not doing great.
Got it.
And we're split up.
we were
Yeah, was
just
she and her sisters or what?
Yeah, she was. It was one of those things where he was obsessed with his work. He had a high station in the city, but while he had his eyes on everything else, literally everything outside of their house, it wasn't on her and it wasn't on the children.
Yeah.
And she was like, this is my idea of her. She was like, I need more purpose. I'm gonna go find that elsewhere. And until there's something for me here, I won't be here. And I'm sure he was like, okay, and just went back to work.
Wow.
Right? Just totally
Yes,
blind
Yes, Rain.
and all that stuff. And so, I feel like I think it's always interesting to try and put a little part of yourself into characters. And so as like a new dad, one of the things I'm always fearful of is just
Yeah.
working so much that you'll miss parts of your life, and I definitely pay
look
attention
at
to
Lou.
my
I was
wife,
gonna
but,
say,
you know,
way to
you
connect.
worry about.
Way to get that in there on tape.
Yeah. Love you, babe. I see you.
I love my wife.
Heart emojis. Oh shit. Yeah,
Take care of my kid.
Just being like, you don't want to miss any of that stuff. And so I think in that last day, it wasn't about who he'd been. It was like,
I think
who
Travis
can
was
you
getting
be if you
choked
get
up, and they
one last
saved
chance,
him
right? Like
by
the old question,
making
if you had one day left, what would you do?
a very nice moment of it.
So good.
I think also, like with Sarah, there's a part of me that really loved his presence in the group because there were shady people. And if Travis, and when you said, like, you pitched your character on, it's like, I want to be Jor-El, I want to be the guy that gets his kids out of there. I want to be tapped into, like, Vespin, Chlor. Like, there were a couple of different, everyone made a choice that helped lift the story up. Being like, I'm into the Betrayer gods, and I was like, well, they're pretty important in this time period. That's very helpful. And for you being like, I'm on Vespin Chloris's trail, where it was like, I was like, thank God. I was like, great, that's how we tie Vespin into this thing. But what I loved in terms of, if you had also been a shady motherfucker, right? Then we have a group of people that are doing shady things. Like even
And now
Loquacious,
it makes
his
it
very
difficult.
first scene, he's influencing an election. Like he's not involved with the ether scheme, but this guy is shady as hell. He's incredibly corrupt. And having one person who, if you had also been corrupt, people watching at home would get to go like, oh, that's what happens when everyone's bad. Not like me, who's good. And you were good and also didn't stop Calamity. And it was really important, at least
But
like,
he
for me to have
survived.
one character who's
But
like,
he lived.
yeah, he's not backdealing ether, he's not influencing an election, but his attention's not in the right place. And at the end of days, that matters just as much.
And it was interesting because I wasn't privy to the Council of Three.
Trouble Troika.
I of course was.
The triplets.
I was experiencing everyone's secrets as they were happening, but whether we were in the Herald's Tome, and you were being deceitful and deceptive, and other things were happening, I found in that moment not wanting to press my friend on the thing that you were clearly lying about, which was just so fucking telling also about like, if your job is to do the right thing in the end of days, and even though you know all that
remember
extra
this. This
shit,
is where
I
you
still
went off
wasn't,
on
like,
Laren.
pushing you on it.
Yeah.
So it was just interesting. It was interesting like that.
Yeah.
I will say my favorite part was learning that your wife was also a scientist. Because again, I was like, Sarah's gonna come for Laren at some point, and that was like my one emotional needle. Like, oh, you couldn't figure shit out with your wife, so you're coming after me now? And I was just waiting for that, and it never came up, which was great. But like, God, what an interesting character to like, that there's something big here, and you have to go, I'm gonna pay attention to this other thing and hope that somehow allows me to sidestep what I know is bad in my own front yard.
So interesting.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
I think he also has a crazy respect for the arcane wielders. So I think also it was, I think on the inside he knew it wasn't something he could mess with unless he was able to get right up close to you.
Yeah.
And then maybe turn or push the button, right?
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, so good.
Kind of jumping off of while we're talking about the dads, we have a question from the
That
Katie
freaked
M.
me
on
out. I was like, what the
Twitter.
frig is that
Travis
thing?
and Luis, what inspired
Ooh,
your
new
decisions to
question
make
thing.
characters who had children, despite knowing that you were telling an apocalyptic story? Did you think the fact that your characters were both dads affected your gameplay and caused you to make different decisions to the other characters?
Of course.
Because I agree with Katie here. Fucking bold move.
It hurt our feelings.
Holy fuck.
It's like, oh.
When the kids were cute, it was like incredibly fucked up. Like when they were like fun and delightful and not even just like
Brennan,
blank
brutal.
slate killers.
Brutal. With the little
Talon
Oh.
too.
I melted in my fucking chair. I was dying. Well, I mean, I want to hear what Luis's take was, but for me, usually it seems like in adventure campaigns, a group of adventurers go to the threat, battle it, and maybe if they're lucky, somebody will hear that they either succeeded or failed, but it's like collateral damage is minimized and it's out there. This took place in the city. It's in your home and everybody else's home. And of course, that means there are families and women and children and everything else, hopes and dreams and everything. So that I felt like we had to do that because it makes it far more fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of want to ask because you were already talking about, you between of the two of us, you have your own kid, and did that ever, giving your character a child in the Calamity didn't make you kind of go, oh? I mean, you were saying how you related to that.
Very
Yeah,
much so.
Travis,
So I brought up
I
before that-
enjoy
so
what Travis
I'll
just
back up.
said,
My
but I feel
favorite
like he didn't
superhero,
answer the
not very
question. I think
interesting, is
that's
Superman,
what
since
Luis
I
is
was a
asking
kid.
is what
just
I
because he's a
want
guy
to
that
know.
can do anything and chooses to do good, and so
Well,
I
not
loved
that I
that
don't wanna
growing
know what
up.
he said, but-
But I've always been fascinated by Jor-El, who was also very influential in Krypton and did the right
Son
thing,
of
got his kid off the
Jor-El.
exploding planet. But if I had to critique it, I'd be like, if you were so smart, motherfucker, why don't you make a rocket for the three of you? So you could all go out instead of just your kid. So part of that was also like, you can be the baddest, most focused warrior, mage,
I've
whatever,
never heard-
and
well,
when
maybe
shit
I've
hits the
heard that
fan,
theory.
there has to
I've
be a
never really thought
priority.
much
And if
of that.
one is shutting down the threat, then number two inherently is your family.
Yeah.
So you've put something above your family. And as a new dad, I don't know how to do that. Like they don't, you might hear it, but when people say like becoming a parent is literally someone taking your heart out of your chest, taking it out of your body, giving it legs, and it starts walking around for the rest of your life. And all you can do is stare at it and the things that are around it and try and protect it.
Look at Abrea.
And hope that nothing bad happens to it. And that's the craziest notion. So when I knew that a Calamity was coming, I thought it would be interesting as a player, depending on where it went down and what was going to be happening, if he was torn between the thing that he's been trained to do his entire life and knowing that maybe there is something more important than that in this moment.
Abrea
even though he
so
holds this
badly
high
wants to
position.
cut in and be
that
like,
pull
that
was
was
what
beautiful.
I wanted. I
I
just
could see it in
didn't
her
know
face. I
I
could see
didn't
it.
know I wanted it like that.
Yeah.
It was real dirty.
You said something that I'm fascinated.
Well put,
by
Travis. Travis,
new
that is why
parents,
he, as
'cause I
forward,
don't
is
have
our
kids,
speaker.
And I don't know if I want kids. But I mean, I don't think they're gross or anything.
They are.
They're good. They do gross things.
No one
my head
assumes
went, I was
that
like-
until you started
Until I said it,
justifying
I know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sam, when we just had Roni, he was like, "You're gonna get poop on yourself." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool."
and I have nieces and nephews, and they don't live far away.
Speaking
and
of his
but
daughter,
that's not
but
the
his
same as
daughter, I
having
mean,
your own kid. but
they just had it in
I am
campaign
fascinated
too,
by what you
was
described,
years
which
ago.
is like that your heart is like now outside of you and now out in the world. And whenever friends of mine have their first kid, I kind of interview them, and I'm like, so what, I mean, is all this stuff true that people say? And then just to get them to talk about, it's just endlessly fascinating to me, and that's
How
one of the
they
reasons why
change.
I like to play a parent, because
What if one of
it's
his friends has a
playing
kid and they're like,
pretend
Yeah.
Don't
and,
do
and
it,
trying to
fucking
access
sucks.
something that
I kid you
feel
not.
like I get a sense of
I had
through
a
my
friend that told me
imagination, but
that.
I can only imagine in real life. There's
Got
nothing to
really
compare
drunk
to
one night.
in
I
the-
ain't gonna
in
say
real
who,
life,
'cause
but
I have a
I'm
lot of friends
endlessly
with kids, so it
fascinated
ain't gonna matter.
by that. And so I was. It
He
just made
literally
sense for
told
me
you
to
one
have.
night,
And I wanted to have a kid that wasn't
do
that wasn't mine. I wanted to have again to kind of parallel the relationship between the gods. I think I had told Brennan, I said I kind of see the story as like a story of like fathers and sons, and in a sense, and so seeing like the portrayers as our fathers and mothers in a way, and then I have a kid who's not mine but is mine, and I've never like explored that, so it was cool. And I'm glad that you said what you said, because that's next time I play a dad, I'm gonna literally imagine my heart leaping out of my body and then taking form as a kid.
That I've honestly never heard of before.
It's very powerful.
I kid you not, I've
And
never
to hear an
heard
actual,
anybody.
to hear you say that, it's really, you can feel it.
Yeah.
So
Well, even
cool.
the dichotomy too that you have.
I honestly, I've heard many
a
ways
complicated relationship with your son,
in which people have
and
described the love of
kind
the
of playing that
children. I have
father
lots of friends with
role.
children.
Yeah.
Never have I heard that,
And then,
but it's awesome.
because your
Way to put it.
kid was staying with
Yes.
your family,
My family,
right?
yeah.
So good.
And we
Yeah.
only really got a little bit of that.
Just a kiss, you know.
Yeah.
Just a kiss.
Yeah.
you know.
That's just so. Yeah, I mean, that was something we talked. That was something I threw out. I think because I knew Nidus wouldn't have like an actual like family, but I liked the idea of. I liked it as a representation of how close we were. At one point in our lives, that it's like the three of us were some kind of triumvirate, to the point where you were like, yeah, he'll be part of. He's part of our extended family.
It cemented, I think, my relationship to you, and I think that's why it was in the moment so easy to like give into you, And if this were like a longer campaign with more of those moments, I can imagine always doing that, because I don't know how you stop feeling indebted to someone who's taking your kid.
Yeah.
Like how you
things went
and
very
your family
fast in
did.
Calamity.
So
We just went
Bria and I
right
briefly
into it, and then
discussed
we all died.
whether we
Except
had
Suri.
kids, and we quickly said nah, because
Just adds another
there's
dynamic.
something slightly hilarious about exes who fucking hate each other, and there's something that's not hilarious at all about exes with a kid who hate each other.
Yeah, like, oh no, that's terrible.
So
Speaking of that,
we did
Yes.
that.
we also went
Yes,
down
let's
Let's not
policy.
make it sound bad for
there
people
was
that really
early
are
talks
the
about-
children of
with
exes who hate each other.
Early talks about who
We were just sitting with our thumbs up our ass, I guess. Next time, find a Bria as fast as you can.
That's the game, baby. We never talked about who Elias's mom.
Nope, never.
And there were early talks about like,
Wait, like you?
yeah, of Laren being Elias's mom.
And I think I said
Really?
you decide that, because I don't think I
I didn't
would
want
have
to
known.
take away from.
I
It's
said I
always
felt like
never
there
too
was something
much.
there, but we never.
That would have been
I
something
was
interesting.
excited about it.
But yeah.
It stepped in on like a very powerful thing about like the family that you choose that aren't necessarily born to you, and I think it would have been like this weird step away, because then there's like that sense of like claiming of But I remember us talking about it, and I was very excited about like, oh man, I always think about
I
fighting everyone. in the
am
group, I guess.
almost
I'm just
positive I commented several times
Brie almost
that
killed
I
me in
flowchart.
something
felt
else we did.
like
Yeah,
that's how the
right.
kid
Oh
came.
my god. Well, I'm just an asshole, so I'm gonna stop telling that story. That's fine. Never mind. But yeah.
Bria's just coming to collect heads. That's
I
all.
am. I'm here to just ring bells. Yeah, the idea that like if we ever got into it and talked about like Elias potentially being orphaned, they'd be like, no, he still has his mother, and make that the big reveal.
Yeah, that's what I honestly
But it never
could have
came to
saw.
that.
Oh boy.
Just thinking about, I love the Gestalt space that was rendered, even by the stuff you guys didn't talk about in your character's backstory. Like thinking about Xerxes, and it's like, okay, so this is a guy who came
10 more
aboard the
minutes.
city while his husband, an Eldritch Knight, was first knight, so we could study his weird paladin oracle stuff that seemed to be unique. His husband died, and then the backstory that didn't come out on camera, but the city put a lot of pressure on Xerxes to become first knight, because there wasn't a great candidate after Evandrin was gone. So him
Kind of put it
leaving
on his
Elias
shoulders.
and Cas Moira was something that there was a lot of political pressure on him to do, of people being like, if it's not you, it's going to be fucking Kevin, you know, and like,
Kevin.
you know, like
I deal with this
so
all
we
the
can't-
time.
wanna doom
People will be
Avalier to
like,
Kevin.
"Yo, we got this job, and you
And
should
so
really go
it's
on
just
it.
not-
We could
it's
send
just
Bob,
like, hey,
but
you
you know."
this,
And I'm like, "I'll go."
grief-stricken,
I know
completely
exactly what he's
alone
talking
knight
about,
up in the
because
tower
if
keeps
Bob
talking
goes,
about dreams and betrayal
it's like a
gods.
50% chance I'm going back anyway, and I got damage
His
now.
kid's a continent away.
He's so strong.
Slap your belt on him, he'll work it out.
So strong.
So strong.
I want to ask you what it was like for you to play our kids. I don't know. I'm just
Love it. Love it. Well,
I
because
love him
because
playing
there's
kids.
a
As funny as that
um,
might sound.
there's a convenience to orphans, which is why from fairy tales and fantasy immemorial, it's just convenient, right? Oh, I have no attachments, so an adventure makes more sense.
Yeah.
When does Luke leave Tatooine? When his aunt and uncle are dead, right? Like spoilers for a sorry. But you know what I mean? Like, and I think there's something to the idea of
Great.
There's something, but
I just
in a thing
found
that's
out
all
the
about
end of Star
stakes
Wars.
and loss.
Even
I
though
think it's really
not
necessary,
even
and I
the end of Star
love
Wars, it's
doing
the very
anything,
beginning.
any familiar relationships, siblings, parents, children, because I think that there are people. People are like gems, right? They have facets to them, and some of them only get exposed within certain relationships.
Totally.
So you need certain things to see certain sides of people. And again, I feel like even in just the blush of everything around that, even people that did try to like avoid those, or did not try to avoid, but like Patia, people that were distant, but like Patia and her grandfather, and Nidus and his brother, and things
Patia's
that never get said.
grandfather.
But by the fourth episode, I'm like, Edalus is Nidus's older brother, and he kind of never did make it to Avalier. And how does Nidus feel about that? The fact that his older brother got married and became sort of the mayor of Kath Moira, and you, unmarried, are like, no, I did become the dragon. And all that stuff just becomes implication in the background. I just loved it. I think all that family stuff makes it so
I think Brennan was like, let me cut this short before I talk for 5 more years.
I feel like we've been away from questions for a second.
They keep
Yeah.
scrolling.
Lou,
Yeah.
Nidus was a pirate who became the key to.
So natural.
So natural.
Yeah, it's very natural.
Yeah.
I'm so good at intros and outros
You're
and
the
segues.
best.
Yes.
Nidus was a pirate who became the key to Avalier's resources. Does he feel as though his dreams were realized even though the city fell?
Great question, Brennan. Really good.
Brennan.
No,
I like
don't
that. He
think
scrolled
so.
over.
I base the character a lot in terms of his how his thought process on like a mix of John Hammond from Jurassic Park in the book and in the movie. Because in the book, he's a real monster.
That is one of the few
and in
books
the movie, he's a
I
real
actually have
sweetie.
ever read.
And I think
Like
I do
willingly,
think
like
kind of in like the
voluntarily.
Jurassic Park sense, it's like
I am just
the
not
goal
a fan of
is
books.
not
I
just
can't
to
sit still.
It's
I'd
not
rather
just to make
watch
the
and
city great.
listen.
The goal is to
I'll
make
listen to a book on
and the
tape
dangerous
for
part
10
is
years.
that the goal is to make the city great and then show it to the world and prove it every day for the rest of our lives, and have everyone come up and kneel before me and say, "Great job, you really made something amazing." Like just bringing dinosaurs back, I could give a shit. Or just making Avalier great and making it this hub of commerce where everyone can live and where there is no strife and Hodmadods do everything you want and you only experience weather
Love
once
them.
a week.
Love the
That's
Hodmadods.
fuck that. We need to go to the celestial plane. That is when things will matter and that's when people will care. So I don't think his dream is realized, but I think in the moment where you killed us, I
just want to say something.
No.
Matt Mercer made up the Calamity.
No,
okay?
Don't put this
Matt
on
Mercer made it up.
trying
And I'm over here bad copping it, okay?
So you gave birth
Brennan.
to us, and Matt killed us.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
In a way.
didn't ask to be
I'm in the delivery room, but there's.
well, I specifically mean when you killed us with the tree.
Oh, yeah.
Which is you.
Which is you.
The
That
tree
tree
didn't have
was
to be
you.
that wild. The tree could have just split open, like it seemed like it was gonna. And then in the 4th episode, for the first second, aka 2 hours, you murdered us ruthlessly. That's you.
that.
That's you.
All I'm saying is everyone loves it when Matt says 2/3 of Exandria is gone. But when it actually starts to happen and we're making saving throws for an hour of game time,
Brennan's
all of
the
a sudden
villain.
people got some shit to say. That's all I'm saying.
Brennan, it's an honor to
that
be the villain
moment,
sometimes,
I
and
do
especially a
think
good
is,
villain. And
that's
Brennan's,
Nidus's
if he's
moment
a
of being
villain,
like,
he's a good
okay,
villain. He's a great
the
villain.
ambition is too much, and right now there is something to lose, which is just what Avalier is, which is a community of people doing great things, and that must be preserved.
I actually earlier wanted to ask, because what you're talking about is like the change, the realization that you had, and the kind of arc that you went on. When we're talking about the secrets and all the this nasty stuff, but the moment
The music has switched
I think
again.
A lot of the characters
Every time it
realized
switches,
and
it
had a
kinda
moment
kicks
like
up a
really
little
looking
at some point.
looking at themselves in the mirror,
They catch it.
and that's kind of where
And
it
it's all
started for
great.
you.
Yeah, I think it's not until Laren is trying to blow up the tree that this fucked up prophecy I got, it's told me might be important. That's the first time it's like, wait. If these two things if this is it, if this is us like enacting this thing that this person has told me is the inevitable end of Avalier, then actually we need to stop. Now, like I know I've been shoveling coal into this engine, but can we please hit the brakes? Can we please in this moment hit the brakes? And the answer is we can't.
Yeah,
Prodigy
no.
that you had
I was saying
enabled
this was
for
going
decades
fast,
know for
and
the
it was
first
getting
time, and thought that was going to go a
crazier,
different way.
Let's
like
not do
on
that.
epic levels
I
to the
can
point
dream.
of gods, betrayer gods.
I
And
know that
the
you
Lord
have
of
the
Hells.
commitment to take a character that's supposed to be bad and make them bad, which is why Nidus's sudden third act shift into the moral core of like, which it felt so earned. What was that like? Because I feel like you must have surprised yourself following
well,
that.
I think I got caught off guard when you were like, I'm gonna cast Blight on it, and I was like, wait. Like it
That
was
was when
that
shit
moment where
went-
you were like,
I mean,
and
that
you
was
were very
pretty much
kind
the
in that
turning
you did it very
point.
slowly. You were like, I raised my hand.
At that
to cast
point,
Blight.
it
You
was-
go, I cast Blight.
It went
So
in a
in
different
that moment, I
direction. We
was
had
like,
no choice.
Oh shit.
Yes.
Wait.
Yes.
Wait. Okay, guys, I have to explain something to you that I've
No
kind
one
of been
explained
sitting
anything.
on, and it's kind of, I don't know. I think we might be fucking up real bad. Like, I know people were rolling inside
That's
checks
like
to
shit got
figure out
real.
if I was telling the
That's
truth
like
or not, and
you
could
tell
I was
somebody,
lying
like
and
you
didn't
kill
ask about
somebody
it.
thinking they did
But now
something
I kinda
horribly
wanna
wrong,
talk
like they
about it.
murdered somebody, and then somebody's like, "Wait, I didn't give you all the information."
It was a weird
after you
thing
kill
of
them.
being like, all right, but then also
Only we killed
quietly
a
knowing
tree.
in my head that I'm like, well, if even just me saying it is not enough, and then it came to blows, and it was like, oh, okay. But it was, the first hitch of you being like, I'm gonna kill it, was me going, wait, I have to tell everybody this thing and what this means. And then when everyone else didn't back down, when that didn't work, I was like, oh, okay, well, I have to try and stop this. And this is now on me. You gave me this prophecy, and now I'm the only one who can do anything about it.
Without a saving throw, to watch a prophecy actually drive someone to like panic, you know what I mean? It happened in real time of like the prophecy, the thing. It also was very, I don't know, I just love these characters. I love all of your characters so fucking much. And I love that of the shady, of
The
the
music
trouble-
got
of the
emotional
trouble troika.
as soon as he started saying that.
Trouble Troy.
I wonder if they add the
Trouble
music
troika.
after.
What I love about
If they
it
add the
is-
music, I feel like
is
they don't, but that was like
Midas's story. All of the three
good
of
timing.
you in your present time are so well matched with each other. But there's a fucking difference because you're both elves and you're from the sky. And this dude, I feel like there was just something in Nidus of like, yes, I'm supporting it. The Layrite, the Ether, let's do shady deals, let's do stuff. And then there's a sudden moment where you hear this prophecy and a kid who had to fight on like blood-soaked docks
Yeah.
goes, wait, guys, it can actually get bad.
Yeah.
Like I know that
Real
you, I
world's
know that
coming
you,
through.
the real world's coming. I'm telling you, things can get bad. Like it felt so. Why? It was just such a cool transformation to watch.
Yeah, we're coming from privilege. We're like,
Yeah, 100%.
bad.
I'm cutting it.
What is bad?
Bad is
Hold on,
when
this
the
tree-
water heater broke.
Talk about this when I'm done with this
All
tree.
right, we'll stop there. All right, guys, we're gonna take a break. I said I would do it in one run, and I actually can. I feel fine. I'm like totally good. We got about 45 minutes left, right? 45? No, like 55 minutes left. So we're at the halfway point, exactly. I didn't realize if I don't feed the cats now, they're gonna freak out during the live stream. The live stream is going to be in about an hour and a half. So I'm literally gonna feed the cats, jump back into this, grab a bite to eat, and then get right into the live stream. You guys probably won't see this till tomorrow, Saturday. I'm filming this right before the live stream. So if you hear me talk about it in the live stream, that's how I know. This I will edit up tomorrow morning or something like that. We're going to get Alpha Talk, which is the last 4 episodes of Talks Machina, just the last 15, 20 minutes is Alpha Talk. We do 4 episodes and then I release it at the end of the month. We're at the end of the month. We're getting 4 and the last one is episode 26, Molly's episode. So let me take a break real quick. We'll jump back in. There'll be a part 2 right after this. You want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons out of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit them all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest, Eureka, Infinity Train, Battlestar, Stargate, Fringe. I kid you not. More than that. Check it out. If not, comments down below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.